Today I want to take a look at session 2.1 in tutorial 2, and I'm going to look at some of the newer concepts. I'm not going to go through everything, so you will need to read your book thoroughly. The first thing that I want to do is do a little bit of work on this documentation worksheet, and you can see that I've already done some formatting with the fonts and with the fill color in the cells. So what I want to do to this worksheet is to add a background to the entire worksheet. To do that, I'm going to go to the Page Layout tab, and I'm going to click on the background button, and then I will navigate to where the background image that I want to use is stored, and that might require going through the folders over here. But I am at the background image that I want, so I'm going to click on it and click Insert. And so it just adds a nice professional looking parchment-like appearance that makes the workbook look nice, but does not detract from the usability or the readability of the workbook. Next, I want to go to the yearly sales worksheet, and I want to do some number formatting on this worksheet, as well as adding a few formulas. And so the first formula that I want to add is a total row for both of these tables. So I'm going to start that process out by adding a total label, the word total, to the region column. Then I'm going to go ahead and select cells C15 and D15. I want to add up these columns, so I'm going to go ahead and use a sum function. So I'm going to go to the Home tab, to the Editing group, and click the Auto Sum button. And so that quickly adds the totals for me. I also need the totals down here in row 26, so I'm going to go ahead and click Copy with these two cells selected, and then I'm going to select C26 and D26 and paste. So now I've got the totals filled in for both of those tables. The other formulas that I want to add have to do with how much sales have increased from 2011 to 2012. So I'm going to actually add two columns here. I'm going to add one where I calculate the increase, or the difference between the 2 years, and I'm going to add another one called percent increase, where I'm going to calculate the percent that was produced by the difference between the 2 years. So I'm going to need column titles down here in row 17 as well. So I'm going to select these two titles and go ahead and copy them. And then I'm going to paste them. So now I have column titles in both tables. And then I'm first of all going to calculate the increase. And I'm going to do that simply by subtracting the 2011 sales from the 2012 sales. So I'm going to start out with my equal sign, and I'm going to use my mouse to write the formula. I'm going to click on cell D7, type the minus sign, and then click on cell C7. So there's my formula. I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to calculate the percent increase. And if you've taken business math, you probably remember doing percent of increase and decrease. And so to calculate the percent of increase or decrease, you start out by dividing the difference between the two items, in this case the 2 years, by the original item, in this case the year 2011. So I'm going to type my equal sign in cell F7. Then I'm going to click on cell E7, type the division symbol, and then click on cell C7 and press enter. So there's those two formulas. Now I need to get them into the rest of the worksheet. So I'm going to select those two cells, E7 and F7, and copy them. And I'm going to paste them into E8 through F15. And then I'm going to paste them into E18 through F26. And so I quickly have all my formulas done. Now we've got the numbers in, and they are right now in the general number format, as you can see up here in the number group on the ribbon, which means they don't have any particular number style, if you will. And they are a little bit difficult to read because they're, for one thing, there's no thousands separator, no commas. And for another thing, it's not really clear what kind of a number it is. Is it currency? Is it a percent? So we're going to try to clarify that a little bit by using some number formatting. So the first thing I'm going to do is select cell C7 through E15. And I'm going to apply the comma style to these numbers. And what the comma style does is add commas at the various thousands marks. So I'm going to click on the comma. Now notice that it added 2 decimal places here, and since these are things, not money, we're going to decrease the decimal. So back up in the number group, you've got these two buttons. The first one is increase decimal if you want more decimal places. The second is decrease for less decimal places, or fewer decimal places. So I'm going to click that twice to take away those decimal places, and that makes the information a little bit easier to read. Then I'm going to go down to the revenue table, and I'm going to select C18 through E26, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click the comma style. This time I'm not going to decrease the decimal places because since this is revenue, we're talking about money, so we're talking about dollars and cents. Now typically in accounting and something like this, the first row of the information has dollar signs and the last row of the information will have dollar signs. So that's the next thing we're going to do. I'm going to select cell C18 through E18, and I'm going to apply the accounting number format, which is the $sign. And I'm going to do the same thing to the total row. Now, if I had remembered, I could have selected both of those ranges at the same time and done the formatting simultaneously. Over here, these numbers are percents, so we want them to look like percents. So I'm going to go ahead and select F7 through F15 and F18 through F26, and I'm going to go up to the number group and click on the percent style button, and this time I want to show some more decimal places, so I'm going to click the increase decimal button a couple of times. So now we've enhanced the readability of these numbers with some formatting.